I'm Sharon Hankins from the blog irestorestuff.com, where you can follow me for furniture painting and home decor tips and tricks. Today we are live with you on Essential Stencils page, and I've got a couple of signs. I've got a square and I've got a round, and I thought we'd see how far we get. So I've got Pray Until the Cows Come Home, a gorgeous 2-layer set. So we've got layer 1 and then layer 2 will sit over the top. Actually, this is layer 1. But we've got a sunset in the background, so I'll show you how that all works. Let me just switch my camera down so you can see down here. All right, so we're going to just add a little bit of, this is called White Oak, the colour, by Fusion's range of paint called Alchemy. I'm just going to grab a bit on my brush. Whoop. And that's just one coat. It's covered pretty well with the one coat. Okay, let's get the hairdryer and dry this. So I can see the grain of the wood through that, which I don't mind, so that's great. Okay, so this is the Pray Until the Cows Come Home stencil set with the little example here. They've just used like a couple of tones over white. So we've got layer 1 here, so always put down layer 1 first, and you'll find the etching is marked at the very top. I'm not sure if you'll see that there, but layer 1 and then layer 2 is etched in here. And we also have these registration marks, little crosses on the stencils, so that we can mark where the next layer has to go. So Pray Until the Cows Come Home is going to fit perfectly on this, and the little Pray Until is perfect for our little hanging parts there. Okay, I'm going to use some painter's tape. It's not made to do that anyway. All right, so then I can use a pen or a pencil, but you just need a pen or something to just mark those registration marks so that when you line up the next layer, you can line them up exactly in the right place. Okay, and if you also wanted to do so, you could tape down your stencil as well. Sunset colour, and we're going to offload that onto the cardstock. Yeah, we might mix it up a little bit. A couple of different colours. I'll use this background for the cactus down there, and then for our cows, I'm just going to go over those. Like giving it a bit of depth and colour. A second coat on that terracotta. Okay, so we've got our second colour in the first layer. So that was just layer 1, all right? Remember, we've got these registration marks that we've marked. And so these also have the little cross registration mark there. Okay. So that is what we've got to work with. And so, yeah, I do like the way that sunset has come out at the top there. I've just kind of dragged a little bit of that second colour on there. And now the picture kind of doesn't make sense until you put the next layer on. Layer 2. And I can see my cross that I've drawn with the pen on the painter's tape. Sorry, I'll just have to bring it a little closer to me to look at it. I can hardly see. I should have put blue marker on blue tape. It's not turning out very well. I should have done a black pen on there, but that's it. That's right where it needs to be. You can also see how those colours might turn out. I think it's amazing how Essential Stencil figures out how to do these colours. Now, and because we've got fairly small lettering and small spaces, I think I will use a small brush again. We could also use some of the dome bristle brushes as well. They're really good for this. Again, this is the colour Clay, and it's a nice brown colour. We're going to do our, oh, I can see that I've got this tape slightly going into the letter L. We don't want that missing out on being stenciled, so making sure it's all right now. And I'm going to go ahead and just do everything else in this brown colour. And then the big reveal, I'll take that off. And now we have beautiful coloured cows with a couple of colours looking like they're sitting in the sunset. How is that? And then we can put our little ribbon at the top or a string, something on the top there to hang it with. So see how those layers work? And I just dry brushed, dragged a little bit on that sign there. All right, we might have time for one more because I've pre-painted my square board over here, and I will go and wash these after the live. So there's our first one, Pray Until the Cows Come Home. I love how that turned out. See, 2 layers, so easy, 2 colours. I did 3, you can just do 2. So I've just kind of, on that first layer, did a little bit of that yellow colour for the sunset, added a bit of orangey terracotta colour, and love it. Love how that turned out. Here's our square board. Why am I saying square rectangle? And I was thinking of one of these that are this size. I know Melissa did this one yesterday, and they call the thing rodeo. So I might do this one. Follow the word, not the herd. What do you think? Have you seen this one being done yet? So I've painted, so this is just a ply canvas board with the framed edges. You could use it this way and have a framed picture in there. But I've done the outside and I've coloured it in this colour, which is called sandstone. Okay, we've got the colour clay again. Again, this is a chalk paint. Okay, so that was super easy. Now you could just leave it like this, and I'll lift that up and show you. Ta-da! Kind of gives it that vintage look. Follow the word, not the herd. Very simple, 1 colour stencil. Get my thing back on. Okay, so to do our shadowing, we just place the stencil down to get your bearings. Place the stencil down exactly where it was, making sure it's all lined up. Then I just move it up slightly and across slightly, and that will get us a shadowing effect. Okay, so I've just moved it. You can see that it's not in its right place. See how that's moved up and across? And there's a bit of a gap there now along that one side up here, as if the light's coming this way and it's leaving a shadow down here. So now I'm going to go over that with the white, and I'm only going to be doing this shadow on the words. You can shadow the pictures too, but I think this will just make this stand out. But I will just have a little peek. I will just dry that off quickly. Oh, I've got paint all up the side of my brush. Okay, this is going to really stand out a lot more. We've got the white standing out a bit better now. Okay, now you'll see this little shadow effect and it'll make sense. It kind of makes it look a bit 3D. And then we're almost done. And there we go. We've got our 3D looking words. If I hold that up close, you'll be able to see how that shadow of the brown that we did underneath is just acting like a shadow on follow the word and not the herd. We could do the same on the cross too if we wanted to. So here's our side, and I'm just going to drag the brush across. Not sure if we're seeing that yet. And just push a little harder, get a little bit more on your brush, but less is more, less is best. There we go. Now we have a finished follow the word, not the herd sign. I love how that turned out. Easy to practice on a piece of cardboard. Yep, and it doesn't matter whether you move to the right or the left when you're shadowing. That's just what I tend to do. You can just go move the stencil up and along a bit either way. You can even make your shadow come from below going up, so it doesn't really matter. Just move it diagonally. 45 degrees is really all you're doing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.